Welcome back to the Fab Jet Life. This is our final day in New Orleans. We have a day full of fun, but we're gonna begin our day at the #1 swamp tour near New Orleans, John Lafitte Swamp Tour. We actually just learned that John Lafitte was both a pirate and a patriot. He would plunder and hide his treasure in the swamp, but he also helped Andrew Jackson at the Battle of New Orleans to defeat the British. It was kind of a mixed history. You guys ready to get in the swamp?
Not really knowing what to expect, so I guess I'm ready, yeah. She gave me a flower.
It's a real flower.
And I was like, it kind of looks like that one thing from Horton Hears a Who.
Maybe there's an entire city of who's.
And only you can hear it.
And only you can hear anything?
It's a real flower.
Do you hear anything on it?
No.
I'd like to welcome everyone out to Jean Lafitte Swamp Tours aboard Swamp Queen 4. My name is Jason. I'm gonna be a captain and a guide today. Snake comes on this boat this morning. I'm going off. This captain doesn't go down this ship. Now you're gonna follow me. Something happens. I'm gonna be the first one off.
You just
She hasn't
whistled
ridden
an
a boat in
alligator.
about 3 years. She's too cool for this now.
You responding to the whistle? Jaden, stand up and face me. Thing as big as you, man. Is it heavy?
It has some weight to it. Look at Daddy.
That thing's gonna be bigger than you.
It's gonna hate you.
That was great.
That was awesome.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
It was really relaxing, and he was very informative. There's a lot that I didn't realize as far as how the animals they behave and just like different stuff about the nature within the bayou area.
I really liked his demeanor too. He was friendly. He said he's done this 14,000 times.
He said he's been doing this for 24 years.
Yeah, he's been doing it for 24 years, since 1998. He knows the gators personally. They come to him. He has like a relationship with the wildlife.
That was my favorite part. The fact that he could whistle and literally you started seeing the gators kind of come up closer to the boat or come like from way far away and start bringing their way towards the boat. That was great.
And his eye was incredible. He would spot spiders in trees. Spiders like half the size of my palm. He would see them in trees from across the bayou and be able to point them out. John Lafitte Swamp Tour, definitely something you want to check out, sure.
We're back in the French Quarter and we're passing by one of the famous cemeteries, including the grave of Marie Laveau. Marie
Laveau is known as a voodoo queen, but she didn't just practice voodoo. She practiced various types of Native American spirituality, African spirituality. She also was trained in some modern medicine techniques in her time, and she was able to offer healing, spiritual counsel, and those type of things to people during the later years of slavery and right after slavery ended as well, people that were denied those type of services.
We wanted to go to the cemetery, but apparently you have to pay for a tour. It's like $20 a person for an adult and like $10 for kids.
18 for kids.
18 for kids. It wasn't really worth it for us to go today.
But it's something I'd like to see sometime when we come back.
Just come back and see.
And you know what else you can do? You can do this, watch. Little sneak peek. Can you say Marie Laveau?
Marie Laveau.
Say Marie Laveau is the voodoo queen.
Marie Laveau is a voodoo queen.
Right by the Louis Armstrong Park, you can find the location of where Marie Laveau used to live.
And her children as well.
And her children. This is actually not the actual building, but the other building was torn down, but they do have a little plaque just kind of showing where she used to live.
And they actually, the apartments that were built on the site where she used to live, they call them the Marie Laveau apartments as well. And now we've reached the Voodoo Museum, so we're gonna go in and take a tour of this. Fab says she's hot, but it's air conditioning
It's
side.
It's incredibly humid out here. It's like 80 degrees, but the humidity, because it's been
This
raining.
woman is West African. She can't handle the heat.
No, listen.
But she grew up in Minnesota, so she
Listen,
has
the humidity is different, okay?
so she has an excuse. All right, let's go ahead and get those. Although small, the Voodoo Museum is full of artifacts, history, and education. It traces the history of voodoo from West Africa to Haiti to New Orleans and to other places. It shows how historically in New Orleans, voodoo has been a way of preserving family, spirituality, and community for Africans and African Americans in New Orleans. It also helps to dispel some of the popular perceptions of voodoo due to Hollywood sensationalism. Entrance cost is $10 for adults, $8 for children. It probably takes about half an hour if you really want to read and educate yourself. Definitely something we'd recommend next time you visit New Orleans.
We're stuck. That's because there's a
pride parade.
Yeah, we landed into the pride parade this weekend.
And there's a few things that are a little more than their age group appropriate.
We're trying to get back to the market.
Yeah.
We just can't. We walked from the parking lot and we're gonna walk around, but everything is kind of blocked off because of the parade. We're gonna go to Congo Square, but we're also going to go to the French
Market.
French Market. And now everything is blocked off because the parade is happening.
Most of it's okay, but some of it is sans clothing.
Most of it is fun, and then sometimes you see only one half of somebody's body being covered, like front or back.
The other half hanging out.
And then she's saying that sometimes people will be involved,
Perform activities
on the
street.
thing. So
we're gonna
just
wait a
trying to
second.
Figure out which way to go.
We'll get some extra time in the Voodoo Museum.
We made it to Louis Armstrong Park. Every Sunday at 3 p.m. they do have some traditional African drumming, so we wanted to check that out right now.
And then also it's like maybe exhibit
This meetup actually began way back in the time of slavery because Sunday was the one day that the slaves had off. They would meet up and they would do their traditional music, their traditional spirituality. They would get to see family. Sometimes if your family member had been close to a different plantation, it would be the one time a week when you would get to meet up with your family.
So this oak tree has stood here for hundreds of years, even before this whole place was landscaped, and it stood as a center gathering place for all of the people.
And you can see even today, practitioners of voodoo and different African spiritualities, traditional spiritualities, leave offerings and perform rituals at this tree.
He asked the kids first if they wanted to play, and they didn't feel like playing, so I just figured I'd go and join them. And it was cool. You kind of get into the rhythm.
Going back home, man. Back to the motherland. Love it.
It feels like a community when you start.
Definitely. There's something spiritual about it. You can feel it right now. There's definitely something spiritual and communal about it.
Yeah. And the lady was passing around with burning sage.
She was smudging. Time in New Orleans would not be complete without a visit to Jackson Square. Surrounded by historic buildings such as St. Louis Cathedral and a couple of Louisiana State museums, this has been an open-air gathering place for artists, locals, and visitors alike since the 18th century. New Orleans is definitely an art-centric city, and I love it.
It really is. It's like artistic kind of things all over the place.
And people don't care about driving. All they care about is art.
That's true. All they care about, they don't fix the roads. The art is off the chains, but they don't fix their roads or drive very good. Thank you for joining us on the Fab Jet Life for our day in New Orleans. Make sure you check out the playlist of our entire trip to New Orleans to your right, or another video you would like to your left. Like and subscribe, and we will see you on the next adventure.